So, one thing that you may or may not know about me is that I absolutely love racing games. They are my bread and butter, so to speak. They're my favorite type of video games. My favorite genre, I guess, is the proper word. And so, today I've comprised a tier list of a lot of racing games. Some you've probably heard of, some you may not have heard of, but this is just a tier list of some of the racing games, most of the ones that I could think of anyway, that I've played over the course of my life for enough time that I could really rank them. And so I've got seven tiers here, ranging from Boo You Stink up to Needs Further Research, which is one game on here that I want to rank higher, but I just haven't been able to play it enough due to like my lacking equipment and hardware. Um, Meh is a game that obviously is meh. Maybe I enjoyed it, but don't really want to go back and play it a whole lot consistently. Childhood memory, there are some games on here that are from my childhood, of course. Fun with Friends, a game that I feel is really fun if you can like get some friends on and race against them, but if you're just driving around solo, then it's not quite as enjoyable. Still solid, it's good game. Stands on its own whether you're playing alone or with your friends, but just not the top of the top. But then we get to the top of the top. These are the best games of all time, at least in terms of racing games, in my opinion. These are my favorite racing games ever. And so I've got, I believe, 21 racing games or series. You'll notice the Forza Horizon series is just noted by the Forza Horizon 5 picture. Same with the Forza Motorsport series, denoted by the Forza Motorsport picture. Mario Kart, Need for Speed, The Crew, so on and so forth. So I think that's pretty self explanatory. But without further ado, we're going to start off with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, the most recent edition of the Sonic Racing series. And that's a series that I grew up playing a little bit with Sonic Racing. It was Sega All Stars Racing, I think. Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing is what I believe the name was. And then we had Sonic Racing Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed or something like that, where you could like turn into a boat or whatever, or a plane. Then there was Sonic Team Racing that I didn't play, but then the most recent one, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. And so overall, the Sonic Racing series, it's gonna make it still solid. It's not one of my favorites, but like as a standalone racing game, it's good. It's a good game. Would recommend. Then we get to Rocket Racing, which is, I believe, the only title on the list that will go in the Boo You Stink tier. Rocket Racing, obviously, the collaboration between Fortnite and Rocket League when Epic acquired Rocket League. It's a mode that, as a racing fan, I was very excited for it to come out when it was announced, but then was very underwhelmed with how arcadey the controls felt and how just kind of unintuitive it was. It just absolutely failed to captivate me in any sort of meaningful way, and now it's going to be going away soon. So, honestly, kind of deserved. Then, if you are a fan of Smitty on YouTube, then you probably know this game. Make Way is going to go straight into the Fun with Friends tier. I think this is a pretty good game, all in all, but it's a party game, and so all the fun is going to come from messing around with your friends, knocking them off the ledge, hitting them with a bomb or whatever. That's the kind of stuff that you see in the YouTube videos of the game. That's what got me into it. I've played it a little bit, and I've had a fun time when I've played it. It's a good game, but just not really something you want to play solo a whole lot. Now here's a game. We're gonna get into a couple games here. They're from my childhood. So Wacky Races. Anyone ever heard of that? That's a cartoon that they also adapted into a video game. Obviously going into childhood memory tier. Wacky Races, from what I remember of it, it's this cartoon where well, they have obviously predictably races, but they all the people, all the characters that are in the race have like these distinct characteristics about them. Um, and they kind of have like different specialties, if you will, and then that translates to in the game they have like different power ups where like one of them they like go faster, another one like jumps in the air and flies. Um, and then all the time you have Dick Dastardly who's like trying to sabotage the race because he wants to win. And so lot of fun, lot of crazy mini games as well that will come up whenever there's like a Dick Dastardly sabotage that happens. You have to play a little mini game with the. I played it on the Wii, and so it used like the Wii remote motion controllers. So that was always a lot of fun to play, honestly. But solid childhood memory game. And another one that I happened to play on the Wii as well, Build and Race. This was a game where you could build your own racetrack, also going in the childhood memory tier, of course. Um, you build your own racetrack and then race on it. And I didn't play a ton of this game, but I remember what I did play was it was a ton of fun. I remember playing this game maybe 10 years ago or so, maybe longer, maybe like 12 years ago. It was something we found in like a clearance bin at GameStop or something. It was an insanely good find for like, the $5-10 that it was. So really, really fun game, honestly. I would recommend you check that game out. Then we get to a more recent game, Wreckfest. Actually, they're pretty soon coming out with Wreckfest 2, which I'm kind of excited for. But that's definitely a fun game. I'll put it in fun with friends. Wreckfest, for those of you who don't know, is a demolition derby racing game. So it's all about like, sure, you're trying to win the race, but also you're trying to survive the race because you will get heavily damaged if you collide with other cars or other obstacles on the track or the walls too much. And so it is as much about going fast as it is about simply surviving to the end of the race. So it's a ton of fun if you have friends to play it with. And certainly if you watch YouTube videos of people playing it with their friends, it looks like the most fun thing in the world, you know? And as someone who has played it offline, like solo as well, there is a good bit of fun to have playing it solo as well, certainly. Probably more so than Make Way, but it's gonna land in the fun with friends tier. It's a bit gimmicky, it's not quite as deep as some of the other games that we'll see later on in high tiers. Next up, um, I've got the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games series. It's gonna go in childhood memory because I specifically picked the image from the 2008 one, the first one that they made, because that was the one I had the most fun with growing up. Although I played all of them, even the Winter Olympic Games, but I've included it here simply because of the events where racing is involved, like the 100-meter dash, the hurdles, the swimming, all that. So it counts enough for me. And those are the events, honestly, that I played the most growing up. And so I think it counts perfectly fine. Really fun game, although I do think that honestly they got worse as they go along. The 2008 one is my favorite one, if I'm honest. So still a ton of fun. Then we get to a mobile game, F1 Clash. Obviously, I'm a massive F1 fan. If you know about me, you know that. And so obviously, when I found, oh, there's a Formula One mobile game, obviously I'm gonna play that. It's been up and down for me. I've had stints where I play it like very regularly, but now it's kind of meh. It's pretty pay to win. There's just a million different offers. I mean, it's a mobile game, and so there's only so high that it really can climb, and so, but still, like if you want to pick it up, it has all the Formula One drivers in it. It has decent like mechanics to it. It's not a game where you actually physically drive yourself. It's more about strategy and such, and telling your drivers when to come into the pits and whatnot. But if you are a fan of Formula One, I would still recommend you check it out. But I probably wouldn't assume that anyone's going to get too big into it. Now we come to the Cars games based on the movie franchise, of course, and for me, the original one, I played it again on the Wii. That's kind of what we had and played on the most growing up. What in the? That's what we had and played on the most growing up. But yeah, for me, the Cars games kind of got worse as they go along. They got more like, funny enough, even though it's an animated kids movie, like they got more cartoony and just stupid as you go along and more arcadey. Whereas the original Cars game, that's a really good one, but simply because of the fact that I'm mostly pulling from the original Cars game here, it's gonna go into childhood memory because I played it when I was in my childhood, of course. But if I was to rank the later games, it would be down in meh, I would say. Now, Asphalt 8 Airborne. That's another one that it's another mobile game, but it's a lot better as a mobile game than F1 Clash. You actually drive the cars. There's a bunch of different cars to collect. I'm sure if you've spent any time playing racing games on your phone, you've played Asphalt 8 Airborne or even Asphalt Legends, the newer one. This is one that I played when I was a kid playing on the iPad, so that one's going in childhood memory. Another childhood memory, and honestly, such a good game, such a solid game. Diddy Kong Racing. I'm honestly gonna put this one at the top of childhood memory. I'm not really ranking these in order, but like Diddy Kong Racing's gotta go at the top of childhood memory. This is the one I played the earliest out of all these games on the Nintendo 64, and I mean, honestly, it rivals Mario Kart 64. And like for how much praise that game gets, and we'll get to Mario Kart later, as you'll see. But Diddy Kong Racing, just such a phenomenal game. And yeah. Our final mobile game, well technically not, but kinda. Our final game that like you'll predominantly play on mobile is gonna be Fun Run 4. I just included it because it's a game where you play as these stupid little animals and you run throughout a 2D platforming course and you throw like spiky spinning wheels at people and they like just get severed into a bloody mess, and it's honestly kind of gruesome for such a cute looking game. The like deaths are like with the dismemberment and such, like it's a little unexpected the first time you see it, but it's not a bad game. I'll say if you like want to get into it, you know, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to get into, and they seem to have a pretty simple progression system. But just it's it has such a low ceiling that I can't rank it very high. But now we're gonna start getting into some really good stuff. So far, the tier list has been kind of bottom heavy. Now it's going to start to get kind of top heavy, and you'll see what I mean. iRacing Arcade. This is a game that's pretty new. It's actually the newest game on the list entirely. And right now it's only out on the PC, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be out to consoles like later this year or next year or something. I've been playing it, and it's such a phenomenal game, honestly, for how simple it is. Like, the controls feel incredible, the cars look beautiful, like, this is a solid game. This is a still solid game, I tell you what. And then, of course, since we're talking about iRacing Arcade, it's only right that we talk about iRacing itself, and this is why we have the needs further research tier. My computer is powerful enough to run iRacing, but I'll be blunt about it. I don't have the most beefy, most expensive and powerful computer in the world, and so, you know, when it comes to playing games on my computer, it's kind of limited still. And so stuff like iRacing, I have dabbled in it a little bit, and what I have done I've had fun with, but I simply don't have the machinery. I don't have like a big sim racing setup to properly enjoy iRacing. So once I, hopefully, God willing, one day have the equipment to be able to properly play it and enjoy it, it's probably going straight up into GOAT game just for the physics of it and the realism. But just for now, needs further research. I haven't played it enough to properly give it the ranking it deserves. Then we get to New Star GP, and this is the game I discovered probably close to 2 years ago on the Xbox store. It's a Formula One racing game, takes you through the history of different types of cars over the years of Formula One through the career mode, and it's a solid game. It's a solid game with good enough physics. It's pretty cartoony, pretty arcadey, but honestly, that's kind of what it's trying to be. And so it is a solid game to play by yourself. Speaking of Formula One, I'm ranking the series as a whole. Where else am I going to put it? Obviously, it's a GOAT game. Say what you will, but just overall, as a Formula One racing game, there ain't nothing better, in my opinion. I think that's enough said. Now, Gran Turismo is a solid game. It's one that I honestly could put down in needs further research, but I think I played enough of it, especially GT7, that it's a solid game. Physics are really good. The rigid camera angle sometimes kind of catches me off guard, but other than that, phenomenal game. I just typically prefer to play on my Xbox, and so that's why I don't have as much time on Gran Turismo 7 as some of the other games here. Speaking of other games, the Crew Motorfest, and largely the Crew series as a whole, is also going to get a still solid ranking from me, mostly carried by the Crew 2. That's the game that I got into first when it came to the Crew series, and then when the Crew Motorfest came out, I got it and played it for a while, and didn't quite enjoy it as much as the Crew 2, and so if it weren't for the Crew 2, maybe I'd put it down in like fun with friends, but I still had enough fun playing through the Crew 2 and getting all the cars, getting them all upgraded, that and doing like the same race over and over and over again around the Las Vegas Strip, probably like 100 times just to grind money. Because it was like the shortest and easiest way to grind money really quickly in the game. So fond memories of doing that. So that is where the Crew is going to place. And right next to it, Need for Speed. Of course, my favorite Need for Speed game of all time is Need for Speed Heat. And if I was just ranking that game alone, I might put it up in GOAT game, just for the fun that I had when it was in its prime. But I am ranking the Need for Speed series as a whole, and man, Need for Speed Payback. Oh, what a jump. Okay, from Need for Speed Payback being maybe the worst game in the series to the very next one in the series being Need for Speed Heat, which was arguably the best game in the series. At least my least favorite and then my favorite, back to back. So I think that's pretty incredible, the jump, the turnaround that they made. But yeah, solid game for Need for Speed. Now, with these final three, I'm just gonna kind of, while I'm talking, I'm gonna put them where they go. And in fact, I'm gonna put them in the order. I'm gonna order GOAT game the way that I feel it should be ordered. So, yeah, I'm a Mario Kart fan. Yeah, I'm a Forza Horizon fan. I like Forza in general. Yeah, for me, these are the most impactful series of all time, particularly Mario Kart, obviously being like the first racing games I ever seriously played a lot. And then Forza being kind of my intro that got me into cars, like real life cars. So, and I've always preferred Forza Horizon to the Forza Motorsport series. simply because I love open world racing games, to be brutally honest. Of course, the ability to have both in a single game, open world and designated tracks to drive on, is fantastic. That's incredible. I love stuff like the Crew 2 that kind of has that, and the Crew Motorfest as well, in particular. But if I can only have one or the other, I'm gonna choose open world every time, and so that's why Horizon gets the nod. Also, I believe Horizon has superior physics and handling model to Motorsport. So, but anyway, that's my list. Let me know in the comments how you like it, what you agree with, what you disagree with. Do you think that Rocket Racing is the best racing game of all time? If you do, then you might want to unsubscribe. But if not, then please do consider subscribing to my channel, as it is the best way to support me. It helps me out a ton, lets me know that you guys are enjoying my content, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Controller Freaks. That's what this has been, my weekly podcast where I talk about something related to video games. And I woke up this morning and thought, I want to rank my racing games that I enjoy. So my list does overall end up being kind of top heavy, almost kind of looks like the shape of the letter F in a way. I mean, I like racing games. I like most of the racing games I actually have played for an extended period of time. If there's a racing game that I just absolutely hate, it's probably because I didn't end up playing it for that long. Or like it doesn't appear here because I didn't play it for that long enough to remember it. So anyway, do you like my list? Do you hate my list? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.